Hi guys, the short sneak peek video you just watched is a demo of my new prototype game that I've been working on for a few months. Basically, it's a 2D platform that combines fast pacing, over-the-top action inspired by Doom Eternal with some dark and creepy elements of Little Nightmare. These two games I used as a reference point, but there are plenty of other great games that I look into for inspiration. So let's start from the beginning. Before even starting this project, the very first demo that I made looked something like this. I mean, it wasn't even a demo, it was more like a presentation. It was animated in After Effects in order to get a sense of how the shooting is going to play out. At that moment in time, I just wanted to make a game where you have a teddy bear that shoots other cute stuff in a very over-the-top gruesome way, with some elements of dismemberment. But once I started working on the actual game, more ideas, concepts and themes started pouring in from all directions. After drawing the design of my character, I immediately imported it into Unity in order to bring it to life. Fortunately, Unity has some very cool animation tools using bones, for example. Now, since there are going to be elements of dismemberment, I had to overlay and make bones work for all sprites at once. Well, it took me a while to figure out how to do stuff, but ultimately the results were kind of promising. I don't want to invest at this moment too much time into animations. Just some basic stuff and move on to more important things, such as coding. God damn it. Okay, so I just remembered I don't know jack shit how to write scripts and code stuff, but thankfully YouTube has plenty of tutorials on that. So I better get started on that, I guess.
We're gonna get everything set up and we'll start writing our first program. I'm gonna teach you guys the basics of programming, so we're gonna look at some of the core programming concepts, things like working
with data, variables, data types, getting input from users. Then we're going to move on to some more advanced stuff. We'll talk about things like loops and if statements and different data structures. And finally, we'll talk about...
Oh man, I'm going to get old before I get all this. There is gotta be another way. If you look at games in general, most of them share extremely similar base mechanics. You move left and right, jump, double jump, dash, etc. So if only was something out there, like a package that would provide me with some basic functions, and not have to start from scratch, if only Unity had something like this on their store. Okay, so I bought Corgi Engine, since it seems to have a pretty solid foundation for the type of game I'm working on. And then I just started implementing my character. The most challenging part at this point was to understand how exactly to make the whole damn thing work. The animator is pretty intimidating, I have to admit. Since my character is going to shoot stuff and also walk at the same time, I had to break the animations into different parts, the upper section and then the legs. Also, I learned how to create layers for each section. Then work with Anyway, the coding tutorials that I watched proved to be pretty useful, in a sense that helped me understand the logic and the process behind many things. So yeah, even though I still don't know how to write code that well, learning some basic stuff is extremely useful, even as an artist as myself. So after many trials, I finally made my character execute some basic functions, in order to get a feel of the game and how it's going to move in the scene. It still needs plenty of polish and effects in order to stand out, but I'm pretty happy at the moment. Next, I decided to work on the enemies, since shooting stuff is going to be an essential part of the game. So I drew this little bunny in Photoshop. Nothing too fancy and immediately imported into Unity. I wanted quick as possible to move on to AI. After many tries, I somewhat managed to make this rabbit move, detect my character and shoot, and also jump a bit. I don't intend to make the AI of each enemy extremely complex, but rather have various types of enemies and each one have its own little thing. Okay, so next I started working on the Gore system. Oh boy. For starter, I added some blood splatter every time the enemy gets hit, and also I added some trace of blood that remain on the surface. However, I had to disable that for the moment, since it needs some major optimization. Then the biggest challenge was to figure out how to make the dismemberment system work. So with the help of a friend, I created a health script that contains all elements I wanted to be affected. In this case, I made at least 3 levels of damage for each body part. You can even see the skull, flesh and bone, as for the enemies was a bit more simple. Mostly the head with 3 levels of damage for each sprite. Okay, so next I continue developing a bit further the Gore system. I reduced the blood splatter since I wasn't really happy with it, and added some extra particle system that worked better in my opinion. As for the death stage, well, I thought could be interesting if they explode into pieces like a piñata or something. Now all this development process that I presented here was far from being linear or smooth. Actually was more close to 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or even 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Yeah, I had to start over a few times. Also, here's a tip. I highly suggest to make as many backups as possible. There are so many things that can go wrong for whatever reason, and having a backup version will save your life. Okay, so that's it for this episode. In the next one, I intend to take care of the art styling graphics, since many things you're seeing on screen right now are just placeholders. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if this game project grabbed your interest and you want to see more of it. Bye bye.